Summer is fast approaching, and I think it's time we took a little bit of stress out of our lives, isn't it? With HelloFresh UK, you can get all the ingredients and inspiration you need to make your meal times and your cooking experience simpler than ever. HelloFresh provides a number of recipes and meals to make your life as easy as possible and also caters to a wide range of different dietary requirements. Use my special discount to get 50% off your first order plus 35% off the next three and three free gifts as well. What more could you ask for? Check out the discount link or the checkout code down in the description below. Well, our topsy-turvy return to club management continues with Manchester United. After an awful run against the better sides in the league, we've had a great run against the poorer sides in the division, and now we're back facing two of the top six, and one of them is being managed by a former United legend. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 113 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back to reach the halfway point in the Premier League season with United today, and these two games are going to be pretty important in determining our success this year, because after a good run against bottom half teams, we now face the team directly below and above us in West Ham and Arsenal. Wayne Rooney, United legend, is managing the first of those two sides. Former Bournemouth manager Didier Deschamps is now at Arsenal, and he's taking them back into a good position. And the league table now, bar the top two, is so tight. From Chelsea down to Southampton is anyone's game. So will we make Europe next year, or will it be down to mid-table? If you want to find out and you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We've got an ineligible Antonio Carlos who's on loan from West Ham. 3 players out injured as the issues start to rack up on that front. But if we go and have a look at the schedule, we have had a really good run. Now, we mentioned it earlier in the year, didn't we? It all started so well against those bottom half teams. It then went really downhill, particularly away from home against the top sides. We still haven't lost a home game yet, that should be said. But then we've come up against virtually all of the bottom half back to back, and we've gone on a great run. My problem now is that we've got Spurs in the Carabao Cup semi-final after a very lucky run in that competition. We've got 2 of the top 6 today in West Ham and Arsenal. And in January, we also face Palace and Liverpool and West Ham again. So it's going to be a tricky run. The end of the season's also horrid with City and Chelsea and Bournemouth in those last 4 games. So we've got to make the most of these types of fixtures. And to be fair, since the last episode, we largely have. We bounced back against Newcastle with a 2-0 win in the Carabao Cup. They rotated everyone, and it really worked for us. Joel North and a Joseph Taylor penalty got us the win there. A Taylor penalty also won the game against Charlton in a pretty unconvincing manner, before finally a point away to a good team. This time it was against Tottenham, but we were 2-0 up, so you could argue it was a bit of a failure. Guido, Develay and Demeter with the goals there. A very convincing 6-1 win at home to Watford, which I'm not disappointed about at all. We had 2 for Demeter, De Bruyne, Develay, Hoffenhoff and Taylor getting goals in that one. A 4-2 win away at Luton with Guido, Demeter's brace and Joel North getting the goals. Ocon and Baysal scored against Brentford in a 2-0 win. Not a full house at Old Trafford for most of these games, which maybe shows how far we've fallen as well. Against Leeds, a 3-1 away win with Demeter, Guido and Clishin. Against Stoke at home, a 2-1 win, this time De Bruyne and Baysal, but a bit of a nervy finish in that one. And then a 5-0 win in the Carabao Cup against Wolves. We rotated, but some good players scoring. Joel North, the summer signing with a hat-trick, and then 2 academy players, Joseph Taylor and Charlie Humphreys, getting the other 2 to wrap it up. So we managed to rest a few on Tuesday. We're back to almost full strength in this one, but we have got a few injuries, and crucial ones as well. The current injuries, our first choice goalkeeper, George Robles, he will miss basically the whole festive period with concussion. De Bruyne's picking up a few knocks, which is a bit of a worry. And Vanderson, well, that's the end of his career. He's out long term for this one. So with that in mind, we've got to start looking to the future. We've got January around the corner. Not a great deal being done yet, though João Diaz does look like he's going to be leaving for 15 million. And to be fair, I'm not disappointed in that, so long as we get a replacement. But we also had our youth intake preview, which is Well, I think you would say not great. It says an average intake with a good striker to come, but hopefully it's an absolute gem of one because otherwise we might be in a spot of bother. Let's go and get through to the team selection. West Ham, managed by Wayne Rooney, is 4th v 5th, and if we win it, we're right back in the mix. But as you've seen this season so far, we have not won away at any of the big teams. So let's get the instructions on. Let's get through to the team selection. There's going to be a few changes from the cup tie. We'll be back in a minute to run through them. Well, here we go. We've gone back to as close to full strength as we can do with just Joel Finnegan and Joel North coming into the team. The two Joels making their way into the 11. That is in place, of course, of De Bruyne and Robles, but the rest of the team's pretty strong. Couple of youngsters on the bench again as the squad starts to get tested in terms of depth, and with the festive fixtures, it's probably not the ideal time for it. But our first 11 is still pretty strong here. It's Joel Finnegan in goal, a man we've had at Palace. We know he's a decent keeper. Simmons and Duffy, the two England fullbacks, with Hervenhoff and Deverley as centre-half. We've got Hodgkinson and Ocon in the middle, Guido ahead of them, and then Demeter and Baysal out wide. Just starting to find some form now is Baysal, with Joel North in goal-scoring form through the middle. Let's go and get through to it at the London Stadium. Fingers crossed we can pick up something. I wouldn't be devastated if it's just a point. They've still got Fabio Carvalho from the start of the game. I think it's all new gens apart from that. Oh no, Tyler Morton's in midfield, the former Liverpool youngster, but not too many familiar names at this stage. So let's just get into the first half. Ask the lads to prove a point, get an attacking duty on for Marco Demeter. Now let's go and see how we compete away from home in London. Well, it's been a quiet first 15 minutes here in London, but we've got the ball now with a long kick downfield, and I'm not sure why we're playing that way when we don't have any height in the team. Joel North, I guess, is one of them, and he holds it up well there. But Baysal's ball through just intercepted. Not quite enough on it. Well, you may have fancied Guido to run on there. As it is, West Ham are trying to do the same at the other end, but Simmons intercepts for Finnegan, and he plays out to his left back again. He finds Hervenhoff and Finnegan. Just don't want to get caught back here. It has happened before. And even though we're playing a bit more direct, we are still getting caught in defensive areas. As Duffy plays down the line for Demeter. Great first touch to take on his man. He's arguably more of a threat on the right wing here. As he cuts it back to Duffy, into Guido, good turn to Baysal, deflects to Joel North. And I might have to find a way to make him stay in this team, because for whatever I say about him, he's very average as a striker. He's not got the best attributes. He's gone for a championship side to us. He's doing his job all right. He's scoring goals for fun. He's making De Bruyne's absence look like it's nothing at all. And with 10 minutes to half time, we're 1-0 up. But now it's at the other end, and we know that we've got a problem from set pieces. There is no height in our team by the two centre-halves and now North. And arguably those changes maybe have made us taller. But West Ham's still playing through here. West Ham picks the ball up in the final third. Everyone camped in here as Budem finds Sharp. Two options for the through ball. Chambers is one of them. A regular goal threat for this team. And Dylan Chambers puts it in. He's a very good player at Premier League level. And West Ham, just like that, are back on level terms. And now we're back down the other end as a throw-in finds Guido on the right for United. Beats two with ease. He's shot straight at the keeper. You'd argue with the time and space he had, he probably should have done better with that. Initially brilliant work to get into the position, but then didn't take advantage of it. And now it's West Ham at the other end, looking to get the lead before the break, as Neves is challenged by Hervenhoff, but it falls for Carvalho. He goes back to Guerrero. Simmons intercepts, but it falls kindly. West Ham in. Is a good save, Finnegan. Fair play to the lad. He's made a good one there. And Duffy's able to get the ball clear. At half-time, a pretty even game. I think it's going to be 1-1 still. I made this mistake against Palace at the end, didn't I? And we ended up conceding. As Ocon loses it in midfield, oh, it's going to strike twice, isn't it? No, Duffy wins it back for Demeter. Back to Duffy again and Ocon. Good football at the back, but where is the cutting edge? Where is that attacking threat? Where's the directness on the counter? There it is. Hodgkinson in behind is pretty aimless, but Baysal doesn't get there. The clearance is poor to North, and he heads it over the bar. 1-1 it is at half-time. And you know what? I'll say the same again. We can take this score at the end. I'd be very happy. Let's tell the lads to prove a point again. Just keep going out there and show what you've got. As Hervenhoff picks the ball up in defence for Simmons. He carries it into Guido and Baysal. Now, we have got the instructions to run at the defence more, but when they're not confident, they do turn back a bit. Hodgkinson releases Baysal now, though, and this is the position to run. Back to Guido. Brilliant goal. Incisive counter-attack. Not football played in the air, but not short passing. It's fairly direct. It's between the defensive line. The cutback is perfect. The finish is strong. And even if he hadn't got there, Joel North was right behind him. We're getting people into attacking areas. It is 2-1 to United with an hour gone, and we are really riding the crest of a wave at the minute, but we've got to make it count. As Demeter gets down the right, beats a flying challenge from Chambers. He crosses in. North is there. Oh, he probably didn't expect it. It beat the defender, surprisingly, and it's put wide of the post. Well, here we are at the other end now. It's turning into a bit of a topsy-turvy end-to-end game, this, as Hervenhoff with a big diagonal, dealt with easily by Henrique, and he's forced back to his goalkeeper. We'll make subs in a minute. The likes of Guido and Simmons just starting to struggle. The Suarez plays out from the back to Weston. Are West Ham going to score one of these special goals, or are they going to go long? They go long. Lavallee down the right. Simmons is knackered, but chases him anyway. Forces it back to Morton. He's lost his man now, though. Lavallee's in. There's the curling effort just wide. And that is the cue I need to make subs. Simmons will be replaced. We'll go Duffy left back and put Charlie Humphreys on the right. Guido in attacking midfield is struggling. I'll probably go for Joseph Taylor. He seems to pop up with goals off the bench all the time. And we'll leave it at that for the last 20. I'm going to praise the lads because they're playing well, but there's a few struggling with confidence still. And we're going to have to look at a couple more in a minute because Ocon's struggling. Hodgkinson will be suspended next game now. He's got another booking. That's his 5th. So there are a few concerns. But here we are for now. Baysal's knackered too. We're going to have to be careful with the next lot of subs as Weston brings it out from the back. West Ham are coming into this now. Look, let's have the superior fitness. Maybe they didn't have a cup game in midweek. I don't know. Chambers over the top. Neves in. Oh, that's a really poor goal. We don't concede many like that in fairness, but that is an absolute stinker. I'm going to take Baysal off for... I think we'll go Cavadis and we'll put Taylor out to the left. I've done that wrong, so bear with me a moment. Let's go and correct that. Taylor to the left, Baysal off, Cavadis on. Jimenez will replace Ocon, it's the only option. And at the back, Hervenhoff's anxious, he's playing poorly. So Klishim will get 15 minutes. 2-2. We've been in this position before, haven't we? And we've managed to throw away these games sometimes. Let's hope the same doesn't happen now. Well, into stoppage time is 5 minutes again. This is where our heart was broken against Palace. Please don't let it happen again. As Humphreys plays out to Demeter. Into midfield, it's back to Deverley. Safe option taken. Hodgkinson gives it away, then wins it back. It was a risky sliding challenge. It's going to happen again. In it goes. They're one-on-one. Oh my God, it's every single time. Away to the top sides, there is a mental block, and we just cannot do it. Hodgkinson, arguably the best technical player in this team, has given it away in the 95th minute. And we have thrown away a point. And maybe it's my fault a bit because I'm not changing the mentality. I should probably drop to balanced and time waste and hold on for points. But I'm kind of thinking old Manchester United and not doing it. We're going to let in another one here. Finnegan saves, the rebound's in. And we've managed to lose 4-2. But maybe I have to accept against these top sides that when you've got a point with 5 minutes to go, you've just got to take it. Because at the moment, I know we've been brilliant against the bottom half of the league, but as soon as we go away to a top side, we look useless. And it is becoming a real problem. In a game we should never have lost. We've thrown it away late on. Maybe that's something to think about for the future. Let me know in the comments. Should I just accept we're not that strong at the minute and take the point when the opportunity comes? Thankfully, the next game's at home against Arsenal. That is a blessed relief this year. So let's go and get ahead to that one and see how many of this lot are fit. Well, it's fitness test time as we return to host a Didier Deschamps side who, well, he caused us plenty of problems at Palace with his old Bournemouth team. And now at Arsenal, they're coming to visit us, and at home, we are still yet to lose. We've got more injury problems this time though. We said we couldn't afford to lose 2 or 3 from the squad. Well, how about 4 or 5? Hodgkinson suspended, Demeter is injured, De Bruyne is not fit enough to start, and we've still got a couple of others out too, including our first choice keeper. So let's get through to the fixtures. It is Boxing Day, it's a big one. We've still got a chance to get right back in the mix. Arsenal, weirdly, have still got a few of the older players in the squad. Saka being chief among them, who was part of our Euros winning squad. And Saliba's still in there as centre-half as well. But let's go and see what team we can put out. Oh, it's not looking particularly pretty at the minute. Everyone else is fit, which is a positive. And of course, Carlos is coming back. So he'll slot straight into midfield. The right wing, I'm not sure what to do. I'm probably going to go for Joseph Taylor and just move Guido out. I think that's my most logical option, but it's not as strong as we like it to be. De Bruyne could go back on the bench, but we're going to have to go to the youth team again. And there's not really the strength in depth there that I like or that I'm particularly proud to put on the pitch. So a bit of a problem to start off, but this is our 11 for today. It is Carlos in, it is Taylor in. They're in place of the suspended Hodgkinson and of course the injured Demeter. The rest of the team stays the same. So let's see if it can pick up a point. Here we are then. Bukayo Saka is the skipper still. They've left their best striker on the bench, which is Stefan Ortner. They've still got Nuno Mendes, who is a real player as well, and Solly Arson, who narrowly missed out on my England squad. Gabiola, the sub-goalkeeper, did a few too. So a lot of familiar names. Adam Barrett's at centre-half. Oh, I missed that. He was starting for my Palace team one year, wasn't he? Didn't realise he'd moved on. Let's put on a show here. We've got the whole team inspired, and they are starting to respond to us now. We're going to have to change Guido to an inverted winger. And we're going to have to try and be aggressive here because defensively we are not strong enough. So let's go and get into the first half. We'll stay positive. We'll be on the front foot. And hopefully our good home form will continue. Because with that, at least European football should be assured. No matter what we do away to the top half teams. And we've played most of them now anyway. So here we go. It is Boxing Day. There's a lot of first teamers missing. And I'm hopeful we'll be alright as Ocon's free kick tipped well over the bar by Ramirez. And you do look defensively, I think, can we get a better right back? Can we get a better centre half? We are a few away from a very top team. And there's probably only 4 or 5 in here that will be here at the end of our stint. That's a dirty little foul from Pasquale. Baysal had beaten him easily. And the referee really should be booking him for that. Ocon's at an acute angle, but we know FM loves an outswinging free kick. This one's into Hervenhoff. And it's straight at Ramirez to save. No sign of the quick free kick again. No sign of the short ones either. But we're not going to worry about that. We don't want to go on a rant about it every time. Well, 5 minutes to the break. The stats suggest that we've dominated this game without creating much. And they have got Barrett booked in defence now, which based on his sendings off in our time at Palace is getting me a little excited. As it is though, you can see we've had 15 shots, 6 on target first half. But clearly not created anything brilliant. So let's go and get into the second period. I do wonder from the instructions again. We're working the ball into the box. We're trying to create good chances. We've got decent finishers on the pitch. I don't know why it's so poor, but we're still in the game. As Carlos switches to Baysal. Was he onside? Doesn't matter when your touch is that heavy. Simmons brings it down for him again though. He wants to make amends, and he almost does. A little too central to cause Ramirez trouble, but the power forced him to tip it over rather than hold it. Here's our man out for the short corner, but they never take a risk with a 2-on-1. If he's being marked, they just cross it, and there's no way around it here. North's header is put behind, it's a good deflection, and it'll be another corner kick, but they just don't take a short corner. It's so infuriating. You can't send a third man out, you can't tell them to gamble 2-on-1. And again, we put it in, and it's headed away easily, as Taylor gets it back to Duffy. Can't actually think if Taylor started a league game this year, but he's done well so far. Hervenhoff gets it, but it peters out. And despite dominating, it's 0-0. I wonder if this is going to be a game of missed chances. We've got Demeter out. He is that goal threat. We've got Hodgkinson out, a set-piece threat. Is it going to end up costing us, as they've got it a right back with Pintado? Defended well so far, but not been forward often, as Hervenhoff mops up well. He goes back to his goalkeeper. Really can't get anyone playing well at left centre-half this year, as Develay chips it up to Guido, flicked on for Taylor. He brings it down and goes right with it. Will he cut back onto that left? But he does. Back to Carlos. Rare start for him, and he stayed fit so far, touchwood. So Nash wins it back. Another one who just missed out on that England squad. And he hoofs it downfield, but Develay gets there. Carlos with the heavy touch. How many heavy midfield touches are we going to have this year? Develay's then made a mistake at the back. I mean, from no danger at all to give that goal away. Remarkable, really. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say about this. This is a game we have been by far the better side. We've not got our best striker in the team due to injury to score the goals. We've not got our best winger in the team to create the goals due to injury. We've not got our best midfield playmaker in the team because of suspension, so he can't create any chances. And we're making silly individual errors at the back. I mean, I don't know what more I can do. There is no way on earth we should be losing this game. Again, whoever's left centre-half's awful, so Clishin will come on. I'm also going to take off Taylor, who's had a poor game, number 10. I'm tempted to gamble with De Bruyne, you know. I think I'm going to. I'm going to shuffle Guido across one. We'll put him as a winger on attack or support, whatever he usually is on. North's not had a great game. Baysal's knackered, but we've got no subs there. And this is the issue, isn't it? We cannot afford to have 4 or 5 players missing. We've not got the depth. We're looking now at the bench. There's 2 or 3 more, and then it's youth players, which was fine those first 3 games against the bottom 6 teams. Same again in recent weeks. But when we're playing these top half teams, we cannot afford that. And at the moment, it's all we've got. So let's have a look at who we can bring on. We've got Ocon struggling. We've got Carlos struggling a bit. I'll go for Jimenez. I'll go for Cabadis. And on the left wing, I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just going to take Simmons off. He's on a yellow. He's struggling physically. And we'll bring on Humphreys. But they're not the changes that are going to change a game. We're weakening our midfield. And we're bringing on a right back because we've not got any other options. It's not a good state of affairs. It's a game we've dominated, but again, late on, we're starting to struggle. We've not got the same options off the bench, and Arsenal have. They win another corner. Good save, Finnegan. And it remains 1-0 to Arsenal. I'm afraid this is not going to end the way we'd like, unfortunately. Saka will take the corner for Arsenal. We've got 5 minutes to get back into it. We've gone attacking. They're time wasting, and I'm not sure we're going to get what we want. Finnegan does well to hold that corner. We've got the chance to break away. But look at the match stats. 20 shots, 10 on target, no goals scored. Can we finally be the team to get a stoppage time goal? Duffy gets it from Ocon. Araujo heads away. Clichin back in, but to no one really. And just hoof downfield from Arsenal. They're defending this lead very, very astutely. As De Bruyne gets down the right. Chance to cross. North's in! Is it onside? The assistance flag has stayed down. I'm confident this is going to count. Come on, give us the goal. Joel North is the man again. He always seems to pop up with one. And we've nicked a point. Our unbeaten home record is preserved. And we keep Arsenal behind us in the league. Do you know what? Over the course of the game, I'm disappointed not to win. But it's really important against these top sides we pick up the odd point. And we've done it again this time. Let's go and get through to the schedule. See when we're going to be back. I'm sure January deadline day might feature. And to be fair, we need to see how we're doing in the Premier League. Well, there is a positive to take from today's game. We're still only 3 points behind West Ham, but crucially, there is a little 5-point gap opening up now to Spurs, Palace and Bournemouth outside those European spots. If we can get in that top 7, it's job done for the season, and at the moment we're competing for it. We've just got to stay consistent against the bottom half teams. We've got a good FA Cup draw, we've got a chance in the Carabao Cup, and I know I wanted to show deadline day, but I think that's got to be next. The Carabao Cup second leg semi-final against Spurs. Hopefully we're still in a tie after the home leg. It's followed by Liverpool away. One of the top teams. We did beat them handsomely at home, but away from home you've seen our troubles yet again. I know it's not great for me just showing you the games where we're getting tanked on the road, but I feel it's better than showing you me beating the bottom half teams 2-0, isn't it? I mean, let me know if you want to see the opposite. I'm happy to do an episode of Stoke, Leeds, Brentford, Luton, whatever, but I just feel for now that you want to see how we compare against the top sides because ultimately that's the level we want to get back to. They're the games we're going to be showing in the future when we hopefully do reach that standard. And it'll be a nice little barometer to show how far we've come if you compare it to how we're doing against them this year. But Joel North, the late hero there, to be honest, 2 pretty decent performances, but just a few individual errors at the back. We're a good centre-half away from maybe competing. We'll see if we get it in January. It's over to John Murtow, who I have next to no faith in. João Diaz leaving will make the squad weaker. And God forbid, if we get any more injuries, we are in a world of trouble. If you did enjoy this one, though, a late equaliser to salvage the episode, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We'll be back tomorrow with the Builder Nation save. One hell of a climax to that season. Do catch up with it if you haven't already. There's also links to the Twitch channel and the football podcast, where we'll be at non-league finals day at Wembley tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled for clips from there. And we'll be back here in a couple of days' time to hopefully reach a cup final at Wembley in this one. Fingers crossed we can do the job against Pep's Tottenham Hotspur, because they're just starting to fall away now, and we look like we might be resurgent. I'll see you next time.